ahead in that engagement, considering he killed off 2 hatcheries. He lost 2 Nexi, but he killed off 2 hatcheries, and he has a much bigger army than Smung does right now. So really interesting play, and oh my goodness, that is a lot of spore crawlers, guys. I was like, what are those things behind all the mutas and infestors? That's an army of spore crawlers. It's a wall of crawl, and I actually really like that because, hey, while, you know, the army of Smung may be smaller, when you think about it, once he engages, he can always fall back to those spore crawlers, and I don't know if WhiteRa's got enough to bust through that many spore crawlers. Meanwhile, though, infestors using their mind control and their fungal growths. Is there going to be enough mutalisks here to take out this army? I'm not quite sure. The WhiteRays are just ripping through everything, and they're going to just demolish this mutalisk corruptor army so quickly, along with the combination of carriers as well. And Smung is once again forced to retreat, but thankfully for Smung, he has the wall of spore crawlers ready to go. And I don't even know if WhiteRa is going to be able to break through this wall of spore. Here we go here. Meanwhile, it looks like something happened down here. I'm not exactly sure what happened, why that hatch. Oh yeah, that's the hatchery that got killed off by the carriers and the WhiteRays. I thought there was like a DT sneak attack or something, but yeah, WhiteRa just pushing in here, losing a lot of his forces to those spore crawlers and losing several carriers as well. I'm not sure why he decided to engage, because those spore crawlers, man, they are just able to do so much damage, and Smung holds on for dear Zerg, for the swarm, for Kerrigan herself, and using a great flank counterattack with speedlings once again, doing good damage. And these speedlings, what they provide for the Zerg is quick mobility, and it forces the slow lumbering carriers and the Void Race to slowly fall back to defend against it. Now, I love what WhiteRa is doing here. I mean, that Zealot, man, what a boss. He is the gatekeeper. He's the bouncer at the club that never lets in anybody but the hot girls. And unfortunately, Zerglings, not too hot. So maybe they're queen sisters. They might be able to pass on by. The bouncer might be kind of desperate, but no, not that Zealot. That Zealot is not letting anybody in through the front door, and thankfully it kind of actually saved WhiteRa. So good job by WhiteRa. In fact, good job by both of these players. I have to say, this is just a very strange game of StarCraft 2, and I'm not too sure who's gonna win. It could really go either way. Both players' income tab now at a pretty healthy rate. Both players having a large army as well. Income tab showing, well, we already looked at the income tab, but you guys can see that you know, there's just all these spore crawlers on the ground. Let's actually take a look at workers killed here. An interesting tab. 33 workers killed for Smung. Of course, that's all due to his ugly denied by the VIP bouncer. This is the speedlings who have been able to run through all the other downtrodden clubs up here in the northwestern corner, northeastern corner. We're not allowed into the VIP section down here. Yeah, Smung has been doing a great job just harassing. Once again, gonna get these speedlings in here, and they're just gonna wreck the probe line. Maybe not. Looks like well-placed cannons at the back, as well as WhiteRa cleverly leaving the majority of his air force in the center, just in the center, to be able to quickly dispatch to any one of his outer limbs, and by limbs I mean his nexi, or his nexuses in the outer proximities of his bases. So he's able to quickly mobilize his forces now. Pretty intelligent play, but you know, I wonder, what is he going to do when he faces off against Smung the next time? Because Smung is becoming more and more intelligent as time goes on with this game. He's already transitioned to this kind of mass spore crawler strategy. Take it back. Smung maybe not getting that intelligent, because now he's asking WhiteRa, his opponent, how do I kill you? And WhiteRa, of course, not giving him the answer. I'm sure WhiteRa has played this build before, and he may know how to defeat it. I was gonna say, you know, Smung getting more clever about this game. I feel like a good strategy here, since you're already maxed, and if you have a surplus of minerals, just sack a bunch of drones into more spore crawlers, and that frees up your supply to rebuild more units, and that actually can put you at an oversupply, so you can have an army of like 230 or 240 over 200 walking around. Definitely a possibility. Another great idea is getting more infestors out. In fact, he does have more on the way, and I feel like infestors can definitely help with the mind control and the fungal growths. In fact, I'm pretty sure Blizzard hasn't patched this or changed this, but I think, based on, you know, past history, that a mothership can be mind controlled. Now, if the tentacle hits on and latches onto the mothership, just imagine what it can do. It could just vortex the entire Protoss army. That would be so devastating. So yeah, there's obviously lots of strategies that can be employed here. It looks like Smung is going to go ahead and Nidus his way to the top, but a Zealot going to wail away at the rocks down below, so he will be getting access over to that 12 o'clock pretty soon. And we may have another big engagement here. Mothership, should it use the Vortex? Oh, it gets Nero parasited, so the Mothership actually now cloaking the Zerg units, and a massive fungal bomb going down. That was a vomit of fungal just going off everywhere. WhiteRa, though, Smung not opting to use the carrier's, the Mothership spells, finally ends up mind controlling it again, and the Mothership still hasn't used any of its energy, so what an interesting battle here, and the Mothership finally losing control, regaining its own mind again as the Infestor died, but the Mothership goes down, and neither player in that battle used the Mothership spells. I'm pretty sure we did not see any vortexes, any recalls, or anything of that sort, and the Mothership ended up going down with 200 HP, but swapping control 4 times total in that battle. What an interesting one indeed. Both players obviously focusing so much on the micro at hand, focusing firing carriers, using the corruption ability, carriers focus firing units, and Queen's using transfuse, and we have another battle here. WhiteRa, though, he's losing interceptors quite quickly because those spores, man, they hit their mark. They're very accurate, they don't miss, and they're taking out interceptors fairly quickly, weakening the carriers as well, and it looks like the Corruptors will be able to clean up the house. And WhiteRa once again forced to retreat. Oh, here comes the Speedlings once again! The artificial wall of the pylons, not enough to hold them down, and the Speedlings may be able to do a little bit more damage, but not much. Now, if there's one thing about this game that I find a little interesting, maybe a little disappointing, is the fact that that Mothership hasn't been used by either side, really, in either of the engagements. Now, yes, when the Mothership was Nero parasited, it did decloak all the Protoss units, and it cloaked the Zerg units, so that is definitely very helpful, but I would have loved to see some Vortex action used against the players. So I don't know, there is a Mothership, a new one on the way to replace the old one. We'll call this one Jezebel. The last one was Giselle, so this is Jezebel. Yep, that's right. WhiteRa here has been able to leak a couple Zealots up as he's destroyed the rocks finally. Smung, I'm not sure why he's fighting with drones, and what are you doing? The probe here, the flag bearer, follow the leader, and all the drones following into a grid of cannons. Why is Smung not Nidusing some roaches over here? I'm very curious. Does he even have ground units? That may be the reason why. I think his entire army may just compose of just Corruptors and what have you, and maybe a couple Hydras. We did see 12 Hydras in production, so kind of an interesting game, guys. In fact, very interesting game, but I really feel right now that Smung is at a large deficit. Only 130 under 174 supply, so WhiteRa, battle after battle, has been able to kind of slowly eke out an advantage, and not to mention killing off this hatchery and all the drones up here definitely helps as well. So the Grandpa Toss just rolling around with a new Mothership. Jezebel has arrived. I don't care what club you go to, Jezebel must be allowed in. So she'll just float over you. You can't stop her at the doors. WhiteRa here has a reincarnated Mothership, but he's got to worry about his southern expansion as Smung now is attacking with Hydras and infested Terrans. Smung just trying every combination under the sun. He just can't seem to figure out what he needs to do to take out this carrier Mothership combination. And really, I just feel like a couple infestors for Nero Parasite, Corruptors, Mutas, and a combination of a lot of Spore Crawlers would get the job done. He will have to mind control the Mothership and use its spells immediately. Just haven't seen him do that yet. So both these players just playing such an interesting game here of Starcraft 2, but I feel like Smung may be running dry. Where WhiteRa has 3,000 banked up, Smung here not mining gas on one of his extractors. That is gonna hurt oh so bad because he has almost no gas right now. Everything he's relying on right now is his minerals. And, I mean, minerals are great. They make you lots of fun units like Lings and stuff, but, you know, if you don't get the gas going, you're not going to be able to make any units that can really hit the air. Except for the Queen. So I don't know what Smung is going to do because he's got a surplus of minerals, just not enough gas to make anything with those minerals, and that is bad news. WhiteRa is now once again remaxed. He can rebuild his army so quickly. What a game this is. Smung now hitting down the bottom side of this Nexus, and we'll be able to pick it off quickly and effectively. But I just don't know. Let's count these bases out, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. I'm not counting what's mining or what's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yes, Smung here is down by 1 base as WhiteRa has been imposing his will. I guess WhiteRa is the one who's doing the manifest destiny here from sea to shining sea, east of the west coast, and WhiteRa is doing just a great job at that. Smung here trying to expand to the bottom side after killing off that Nexus, but will not happen. WhiteRa's Air Force here is just insane. Look at all these cannons going up as well. WhiteRa really privy to the fact that Speedlings have been the bane of his mineral line and is going to be investing heavily into those cannons. I like that idea. Smung, in the meantime, really starving on gas. Only got about 30 or 40 gas left over. I'm not sure what he's going to do. It looks like he's going to commit into a frontal attack here, but there are so many cannons here. Those cannons are going to be able to eat the Zerglings for breakfast. Well, maybe not eat them for breakfast, but they'll be able to whittle them down quite substantially. Oh, nice targeting of the pylons right there. So Smung depowers a lot of the cannons. Meanwhile, has his force in the middle to intercept the carriers, the mothership, and the void rays. But you know, he's protecting these Speedlings for really no good reason. Only a couple of Lings survived after that engagement, and these 2 Lings, I mean, the probes could end up turning around and killing them if WhiteRa pleased. Or WhiteRa might be feeling a little Tassadar-ish today. He may just want to let all his probes die. I don't know. I certainly would not want to be a probe under WhiteRa's command at this base. That would not be fun. Finally, all the Zerglings taken care of as Smung not really paying attention and ends up losing them. But, you know, in that little conflict, Smung was able to remax his army here. He's got a pretty strong grid of anti-air here. All his queens seemingly coming off the line. Look, he's building 6 queens at a time. And all the spore crawlers in the middle, maybe not all of them, but a good portion of them. So his anti-air here in the middle is almost unstoppable. But then again, you pull up this units tab and you see 100 interceptors, all doing 8 damage apiece. That's 800 damage each time the interceptors attack. That is just a ridiculous amount of damage. And I just don't even know if, with all this anti-air, if Smung's got enough. I would love to see him use... What is he doing now? He's even bringing drones off the line here. Maybe he's just finding a way... He should just make them into spore crawlers, honestly. I'm not sure why he's got drones with his army. But maybe he's just a little confused now. He just doesn't know what to do to combat WhiteRa's army, and I guess you can't really fault him. I mean, who in their right mind uses a mothership into carrier transition, a mothership opening into carrier transition? So my kudos to WhiteRa, man, for busting out this build and making it work. He is certainly ahead in this game, and if you guys have any doubt about that, just look at the middle of the map where, yes, Zerg controls the middle, but WhiteRa controls the expos on both the north and south side, and that means he will continue to have resources to fund a war of attrition, whereas Smung will not. But you know, Smung doesn't look like he wants to be playing a war of attrition where economy matters. He just wants to bunker down in the middle. He just wants to build all of his defenses here, all his drones investing in his spore crawlers, and hey, if you can't engage the Protoss main army, why not? What the hell? Just build all your units in the middle and just play a just straight up defensive turtle game. Even though Zerg isn't really the turtle race, but this may end up working for him pretty well. But wow, look at the same time, guys, 14 warp gates coming in. Oh my god, that's so many warp gates. And now we see ground weapons level 1 on the way. So those spore crawlers may end up being absolutely worthless. Although I do like how Smung has a ton of spines with his spores. And the reason why those spores may be worthless is because WhiteRa may be gearing up for a transition from the air into direct ground. And that's why he's got so many warp gates ready to go. Because once he trades armies, he is just going to transition into mass gateway units, and holy crap, we have a bunch of feedback going down on the queens, but feedback itself not enough to kill a queen, I believe, unless it has full energy. And oh, we have a big engagement here once again. There are so many spore crawlers on the ground just ravaging the Protoss air army, and a fungal growth going down as well. The mothership gets mind controlled once again, but none of the energy once again has been used on the mothership, and what an engagement. It looks like Smung using transfuse really well here to keep his corruptors alive, even using the contamination ability, the corruption ability. Mothership gonna go down, never got to use a spell once again, and WhiteRa I don't know if he's got enough to break through this. That's a lot of queens in the back. That's only queens now, actually, so maybe he will have enough to break through this. Remember, those interceptors just doing ungodly amounts of damage, but there may be enough. Queen Smung here is playing hammer on the what is that arcade game where you gotta hit the thing when it pops up? That's essentially what he's playing right now. He's transfusing his queens when they run low on HP, and it looks like his queen army may be able to repel the carriers here. Brilliant play. Is WhiteRa reinvesting in the gateway units? No. He's actually rebuilding carriers and a mothership again, so I guess he, I don't know what he's planning to do. This is just an insane game. Your guess, guys, is as good as mine. But Smung now forced into somewhat of an attrition war, and he will not win that against WhiteRa. WhiteRa's just got so many more resources, but it looks like he is going to push WhiteRa back. What an incredible turn of events. And this game is just ballistic at this point. Transfuse the spine crawler. All right, it stays alive, and it keeps on poking. Maybe not. Gonna go down now. But yeah, this game is just getting really crazy at this point. Smung did lose a large grid of his spore crawlers there, but who cares? He took out that major carrier army in a great way. But oh, WhiteRa morphing in a Templar army. Is he just gonna morph them into Archons, or is he gonna make them use their storms? Oh, he's just gonna make them into raw units of psionic energy. And let me tell you guys right now, I don't think queens stand a chance in hell against an Archon. WhiteRa, he may end up losing his stalkers here. Oh, Smung now pulling his drones off the line, but I don't think Smung knows that there is an army of Archons just waiting in the back, as well as freshly rebuilt carriers warped in from Ire. These guys are ready to go, man. They were just waiting. Can you imagine the Protoss units that get warped in? Because they don't actually get constructed. They're warped in from wherever. Can you just imagine, like, the carriers, they're waiting in queue. They're like, when am I gonna get warped in? And the mothership's like, when am I gonna get called into battle? There's like a little line, you gotta sign up on the registration list and everything. Alright, WhiteRa here has remaxed his army, and this is scary. I don't know if Smung can hold on to this. He is making some Broodlords right now, but it may be a little too late. Oh, look at the Archons are even cloaked and invisible, and what a battle! A massive engagement of psionic energy and raw power and skill against Smung's Zerg forces. And Smung, is he gonna be able to do this? I don't think so. It's just a Zerg graveyard here. All the carcasses and blood splattering onto the creep below, and he calls out a GG. What a game of Starcraft 2, and I'm so sad we never got to see the mothership really in action, save for its passive cloak ability. But at the same time, WhiteRa is such a boss for using this strategy, man. I love him. I really do. What a player. And what a game indeed. So thank you, Christoph, I believe it's Christoph, who sent me this replay. You are awesome for finding this game and sending it in to me. And of course, if you guys have more games to send them in to me, HDreplays@gmail.com. I want to shout out some more Americans whose names I can pronounce, hopefully. But if you're anywhere in the world, send them in to me. Thank you so much. I hope the air conditioner didn't annoy you guys too much. But with that, I think that's all I have to say. By the way, yeah, remember guys, the guy on Reddit, that's not me. I am somebody different. And I don't know, man. It's 4th of July weekend, so I hope you guys all have a great and safe 4th of July. I may or may not be uploading more games. I'm not entirely sure yet. I think I will over the weekend. But I just want to say, have a safe weekend. Spend it with your loved ones. And you know what? Don't forget to subscribe. That would be awesome. So hit that yellow button if you guys get a chance. And that's going to be it from me, guys. What a game with WhiteRa and Smung. The victory goes to WhiteRa. And if you guys want to stay tuned for more, definitely do. More games will be coming out. HD, signing out.